In this video, I'm going to explain to you why women crave the body game. The body game is the most natural way to increase attraction slash force attraction without you necessarily having to do much. This is the most primal biological way for you to get attraction without you really having to say much. It's the it's the best way to speak without really speaking, to be honest. Because the thing is, it's like there's usually the guys who are usually like, you know, some of these personality types where there's guys who are usually just very funny and like goofy and stuff like that. You know, they're just cracking jokes and stuff like that, which honestly isn't a bad thing at all. People love that type of person. But if you couple this with someone who has maybe an out of not the best physique, you start to realize that they kind of need to have this type of, you know, this behavior just because it makes them, it gives them points, it gives them attraction points. The thing is, it's like when it really comes down to when we're just talking about life in general and stuff, people base their decisions based off appearance, and also a lot of people also base their decisions based off how someone pretty much kind of looks like. So if you're a guy and you have a good body game, good physique, what's gonna happen to you is that you're gonna be able to speak without really talking to them much. And the thing is too, once this happens, you can really kind of you can get by, you can justify yourself. You know, you don't have to necessarily partake in what everyone else is really doing, just because for some odd reason it seems like you have some sort of your I guess you can consider this and take it in a way, but your physique literally pardons you from doing certain things, because it just shows that, you know, this guy is maybe worried about something else. You know, he's doing something else, and subconsciously this is what you're giving off. If you have, you know, based off body game, it's naturally it's the best opener. You know, your physique is your body game, best opener. It's the best impression. It's one of the best things that you can really do for yourself. The thing is, it's like but the thing is, if you don't have a, you know, good body game, and you also don't have that good of a personality, you're probably going to struggle when it comes to interactions, when it comes to attraction, just because it's like you're not giving anybody anything to really work with. You know, it's either, and don't get me wrong, just because you have a nice physique doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have some sort of thing was, you know, just because you have a nice physique doesn't necessarily mean you're just gonna automatically just get attraction by default. You're gonna definitely get more choosing signals. You might get girls to maybe want to open them, but that's not necessarily gonna be the 100% case. And the thing is, it's like, but all I'm saying is that it allows you to do less. You know, it allows you to do less. You can just get away with just more so just being being yourself in a way, and that's probably the best. That word, you could consider that the best makeup for a man, where you know, he has a dialed in physique, so he's able to really just act like himself, to be honest, and either the girl's gonna like it or not. And this is probably the most freeing thing when it comes to, you know, interactions and you know, body game. So just keep that in mind when you're deciding whether to take your physique seriously. It really kind of depends on what type of guy you want to be. If you want to be the guy who's super, but who gets by based off his personality, he has high charisma, he knows how to crack jokes, he knows how to make other people feel good in the arena, in the group, then by all means go ahead. Just let it in. For this fact, you're going to have to do a lot. If you're more of a dude who's a little bit more, you know, reserved, you're gonna have to do a lot more talking, you know, if you don't want to dial this in. If you do want to dial in your physique and just make sure you, like, you know, physically look the part, then you get to get by. You know, you're basically able to kind of get by a little bit, in terms of maybe having a not as a exuberant personality. I know people like this who have good looks, great looks, and have bland personalities. They still do okay. They still do good with someone. And there's also guys who, you know, might not have the best physiques, but they have high charisma, personality, And to be honest, they probably when and it kind of depends what type of relations you want. But even them, they also do pretty well too, because a lot of women said that they are more personality driven. There's still types of buckets that women usually go for when it comes to dating and attractions, and it really comes down to long term and short term. Usually, with long term, they're looking for a guy who can, have some stability and stuff like that. That's for the long term. Probably a guy who probably may be, she might be, attracted to him as well too. Usually, if she can find both in a guy, then she's so definitely if the guy is stable as well as she's probably physically attracted to him, then it's probably gonna do well long term. And if you can couple that with personality, then you have a golden child. But the thing is, usually guys lack in one of these three areas: either personality, stability, or physical attraction. If you can dial this in, and the thing is about personality too, it's like the thing is you can naturally be yourself if you have other parts of yourself optimized. I believe that if you're able to, look physically good, you can actually people that are automatically going to find you interesting just because you were able to produce the physical specimen as in you. If you do come across as attractive, like I said, body game is usually it's kind of the best way if you don't want to do the extracurricular in terms of like having a super exuberant like personality and stuff where you're able to pretty much act like yourself and really just be able to relax and chill and still be considered in a good graces just because you take care of yourself. This is really what it comes down to. That's what it really comes down to. You can bypass a lot of the different things, these like different catchphrases and all these different things if you just naturally just look good. And I do believe that wholeheartedly. But if you are a dude who's more charisma driven, you have a better personality, and you're able to make other people like feel good and laugh and stuff, then you can also get away with that as well too if that's what you want. Just choose your lane. What type of lane you really want? You want the cool, dark, mysterious dude who, if you physically look the part, you can get away with being more mysterious, more low key, and having people try to figure you out. I believe this path is the most secretive way, but it also channels good results if you're able to portray properly. But also, if you are just the dude who has very good social skills and high charisma, good personality, and you're enthusiastic, then you can definitely get people to like you as well too. So really choose what type of path you really want. Both there's not one right or wrong path. It really just comes down to which ones are your strong suits and which one you want to double down on. So me personally, I usually tend to go for the body game slash the if you can physically look the part, get glued up, have good skin, just look good in the face and stuff like that, and have a physical capable body, then you're gonna come across as way more like mysterious a little bit. And you're just gonna realize a lot of women just like to be around near you. They might smile at you more and stuff like that. They may bump into you and stuff like that. They may want you to open them up just because they physically like what they see. So I believe this is the path for those guys who who actually like putting work on themselves and stuff like that. I believe that's the best path for those guys. But don't say just because I said doesn't mean it is necessarily the best path. There's different paths for every single person. Choose one that actually works for you. I personally like the body game because it just capitalizes on my strengths when I'm able to physically put the work in, physically look the part at times, and be able to just kind of relax a little bit, be a little bit more of myself, be a little bit more mysterious in a sense. Speak when when you can speak when you really want to speak, which I believe is just, I guess you could say, it comes across as some serious. Other people might just think that you're just unsocial type of person. It really comes down to your preference and what you really think, but you shouldn't really care what others really may think. A lot of guys there's guys who are really just up, or just are visionaries who just actually want to put the work in and actually create something of themselves, and they're in that mode 24/7. Society says that you have to like kind of shut that off a little bit and just quote unquote be normal. It really comes down to it. But if you have big plans and stuff like that, then you're it's just an identity. You can't. Some people may say that just be, be normal, go out or socialize. I understand that that's very well. That's definitely something that you should do. But I do believe if you're really putting in the work and things, then the whole point of putting in the work on yourself is to pretty much do what you really want to do without no apology. That's something that you feel like is you're more drawn to, then that path, the body game, is probably the best path for you. For someone who has had good personality and just people to laugh and stuff around you, then the personality charisma game is well for you. But if you can have both, I believe having both is honestly the best path for you to go to, where people can take you seriously and other people can just joke and beat themselves around you. I believe that is probably the best path anybody can take. Anybody tells you it's one or the other, honestly, isn't probably giving you the best information. They're probably giving you the information that they want to give you, so that maybe you can help them out with their program or something like that. With that being said, I do help guys with the discipline and that working on themselves, that structure, that that physical, that body game that they're looking for, as well as just that charisma that they want as well. It's just to ultimately become the man that is naturally chosen by women. If that sounds like you, go ahead and fill out that form below, and we will see you on the other side. Thank you.